can't remember jokes. So this guy's making his own personal Frankenstein, and you know, when you make your own personal Frankenstein, you need a lot of interesting materials because he's built so interestingly. You need those huge black boots. You know, he starts at the bottom, and they're huge. I don't know, size 21 or something. Each toe is this thing. And then he works up to the calf and the thigh, which are like tree trunks, right? Tree trunks on this man. And then he gets up through, you know, making Frankenstein's chest, which is just his huge barrel chest. And he puts the stubby arm, strong, but like stubby, right? And then he goes to the neck, and you know, he has those cool little bolts, but like they're for like attaching electricity, right? Yeah, the electrodes in his neck. And then he gets to the head, which is all like super ugly and green and other things, right, with the big thick like bones about his eyebrows and stuff. And then he gets to the most important part for any Frankenstein, which is the brain. And he's totally stumped. And he's thinking to himself, what kind of brains do I put in my own personal Frankenstein? So he says, you know, I can't answer this question, so I'm going to go down to my village brain store and I'm going to ask the store owner, you know, what's going on. So he goes down there, he opens the door, you know, the door has the bells on it. And the guy comes out from the back, he says, how can I help? And he says, well, I'm building my own personal Frankenstein and I need some brains. He goes, I've got just the things for you. And he pulls out this huge box of all these brains. He says, these are Orthodox priest brains. It'll work, you know, for your personal Frankenstein. And the guy says, Orthodox priest brains in my personal Frankenstein? That's making me cognitively dissonant. I don't want it. Give me something else. So, don't worry, you're not interrupted. And so, most people can understand you don't put Orthodox priest brains in your personal Frankenstein. It doesn't work. So he pulls out this much smaller box. This much smaller box, and the smaller box are bus driver brains. And he says, this is going to work better. And the man thinks, well, you know, that does make a little bit more sense, but I still don't feel so great about bus driver brains in my personal Frankenstein. That doesn't make any sense. And he goes, oh, I don't know if I have any other types. So he looks, he's scrambling, you know, and he finds this teensy little tiny box, like the size of a ring box, right? And he takes it out and he opens it up, and there's a tiny bit of little brains in it. And he says, well, what's this? And he goes, well, it's extremely expensive because it's so rare. These are the brains of people who go on bus pilgrimages. And they say, well, why so expensive? He goes, do you know how many of them we had to kill to get that little bit of brains?